welcome back to today's Vidyanagar online science class. I'm here to continue our 12th chapter, electricity. And in today's class, we are going to discuss about heating effect of electric current, practical applications of heating effect of electric current, and electric power. These are the points we are going to discuss in our today's class. And the points which we are going to discuss in our today's class are heating effect of electric current, practical applications of heating effect of electric current, and electric power. Let's begin our today's class. Electrical gadgets need electricity for their working. When we pass electricity or when we give electricity to the electrical gadgets, how these gadgets make use of this electricity? So that is the first discussion point in our today's class. While we give electricity to the gadgets, how these gadgets make use of this electricity or how these gadgets divide the current for various purposes. Okay, so a part of the electricity is used to do the works like rotation of the fan and movement, etc. And rest of the source of energy may be expended in the form of heat to raise the temperature of the gadgets, which means it's a wastage of heat energy. So one part of the source of energy is used for their working and rest of the part is used to increase the temperature of the gadget. Increase the temperature of gadget. When electricity or when current pass through a conductor, it becomes hot after some time. You may realize this, right? When we work the TV, television, electric iron, etc. for more times, after touching, we feel it as hot. Which means when electricity flows through the conductor, it becomes hot after some time. Which means here the electric current or electricity being converted into heat energy. Here the electric current is being converted into heat energy. This effect is known as heating effect of electric current. When electricity flows through a conductor, it becomes hot after some time. Here the electricity being converted into heat energy. This effect is known as heating effect of electric current, and this was introduced by James Prescott Joule, so it is also known as Joule's heating because this concept made by James Prescott Joule. So it is also known as Joule's heating. So what is Joule's heating? When electricity flows through a conductor, it becomes hot after some time. This is known as heating effect of electric current or Joule's heating. So the appliances like electric bulb, electric iron, electric kettle, etc. works based on this principle. Which principle? Heating effect of electric current. But this heating effect of electric current is not good always. It is not desirable always. Because in case of electric motor and electric generator, it produces wastage of heat energy. Thereby, it damages the electrical gadgets. So how this effect is undesirable? How is it not good? Because these effects produces wastage of heat energy, thereby damages the electrical gadgets. Okay, so when electric current flows through a conductor for some time, it becomes hot. Here the electricity is being converted into heat energy. And when we supply heat energy to the gadgets, one part of the heat energy is used to do their works and rest of the part is used to increase the temperature of heat energy. That increasing temperature is the wastage of heat energy. Okay, so this is heating effect of electric current and the concept introduced by very famous scientist James Prescott Joule. So this is also known as Joule's heating. Heating effect is also known as Joule's heating. Okay, now we can study some equations based on this. Right. Okay, see, I is the current flows through a resistor of resistance R. So I is the current and R is the resistance, and as you know, V is the potential difference, T is the time, and W is the work done, and Q is the amount of charge. So these are the variables we need to make some equations, right? So I is the current flows through a resistor of resistance R, and V is the potential difference between two ends, T is the time, W is the work done, and Q is the charge. And you have already studied about the power. What is power? Power is the work done in unit time. Power is the work done by time. So power P equal to W by T. Power P equal to W by T. Okay, and you also studied about the potential difference in our previous class. What is potential difference? Potential difference is the work done to move a unit positive charge from one point to other. What is potential difference? Potential difference is the work done to move a unit positive charge from one point to other. That is V equal to W by Q. V equal to W by Q. And what is the equation for W? W equal to V into W equal to V into Q. Then apply this W equal to V into Q here. So P equal to V Q by T. P equal to V Q by T. From where we got this VQ? W equal to VQ. So this is potential difference, that V equal to W by Q, and from this we can make equation for W. W equal to V into Q. Okay, then what is Q by T? What is Q by T? The amount of charge by time, that is I. So we studied in our first class. What is I? I is the amount of charge per unit time. I is the amount of charge by unit time. I equal to Q by T. So instead of Q by T, we can use P equal to VI. So what is the first equation for power? Power P equal to V into I. How we got that? P equal to W by T and W equal to VQ. So we have to substitute that VQ by T and Q by T equal to I. So P equal to V into I. Okay, then one more equation we can make for P. P equal to V. You know what is the Ohm's law equation for V? V equal to IR. What is V? V equal to IR. So substitute here V instead of V, I into R into I. That means P equal to I square R. So another equation for power, P equal to I square by R, and another one P equal to VI. So two equations we studied for power. Power P equal to VI and P equal to I square by R, I square R. How we got I square R? Because V equal to IR, so we have to substitute V for P equal to IR for V. So P equal to I into R into I. So I into I square. So I square R. P equal to I square R. So this is the another equation for P. Okay. So we studied two equations of power. Power P equal to VI and power P equal to I square by R. Okay, then I told you power P equal to W by T. Okay, and you studied from the 9th standard what we need to do the work. We need energy to do the work, right? We need energy to do the work. And which energy we are discussing in today's class or in this chapter, we are discussing about the heat energy. So the energy utilized here is heat energy. So how we make an equation for energy from this? We know W equal to power into time. W equal to power into time, and we need work energy to do the work, right? We need energy to do the work, and which energy we need? Heat energy. So capital H you can use for the heat energy. Heat energy P equal to heat energy H equal to P into T. Okay, and H equal to what is P? P equal to VI. Which equation we have to use? P equal to VI. Substitute VI into T. V into I into T. And what is the Ohm's law equation for V? V equal to IR. V equal to IR. Substitute. So H equal to, instead of V, I into R into I into T, which means H equal to I into I square, then R into T. So H equal to I square R T. So this is very important equation in this chapter, and this equation is the equation for Joule's law. This is the equation for Joule's law. This is the equation. So this is the equation or mathematical representation of Joule's law. This is the mathematical representation of Joule's law of heating. It is a mathematical representation of Joule's law of heating. Joule's law of heating, H equal to I square into R into T. Okay, so how we make a definition to Joule's law? Joule's law state that heat produced in a resistor. Joule's law state that heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and it is directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and time, it is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So Joule's law of heating states that heat produced in a conductor or heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and it is directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and it is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So what is the mathematical formulation for Joule's law of heating? Joule's law of heating, H equal to I square RT. And how we can state the law? Joule's law of heating state that heat produced in a conductor or heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and it is directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and it is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So Joule's law of heating state that heat produced in a conductor or heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and it is directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and it is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So Joule's law of heating, H is equal to I square RT, and it states that heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. So Joule's law of heating states that the heat produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and resistance for a given current, and time for which the current flows through the resistance, and it is equal to H equal to I square by R T. I is the current, R is the resistance, T is the time. So Joule's law of heating state that heat produced in a conductor is directly proportional to the square of the current for a given resistance, and directly proportional to the resistance for a given current and directly proportional to the time for which the current flows through the resistor. Okay, now we can study about the practical applications of Joule's law of heating or practical applications of heating effect of electric current. Joule's law of heating has many applications like electric heater, electric iron, electric kettle, etc. are some of the familiar devices based on Joule's law of heating. So these are the devices like heating, electric iron, electric kettle, electric toaster, etc. works based on Joule's law of heating. So that is the first application, right? So that is the first use or the first practical applications. We are using these devices based on the principle Joule's law of heating. And the second one is electric bulb. An electric bulb is used to light or is used to provide light by heating the filament. An electric bulb is used to provide light by heating the filament. And the filament is made of a strong metal named tungsten with high melting point of 3380 degrees Celsius. So the filament is made of a metal known as tungsten with high melting point of 3380 degrees Celsius, and it does not melt on high temperature because that filament have the capacity to hold the temperature up to 3380 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is 3381 degrees Celsius, you can change this on the filament. So up to 3380 degrees Celsius, there is no problem for the filament. These filaments emit light by absorbing the heat energy. So an electric bulb is used to provide light by heating the filament, and the filament is made of tungsten with high melting point of 3380 degrees Celsius. It does not melt at high temperatures. Okay, and usually the bulbs are filled with inactive nitrogen and argon gases to provide or to prolong the life of the filament. So these gases, nitrogen and argon, increase the life of the filament. So it make it more durable, right? So what is the purpose of filling nitrogen and argon gas inside the filament? These inactive gases increase the life of the filament, which make it more durable. Okay, then the power consumed, the most of the power consumed by the filament appeared as heat, and very few portion of the power consumed only appears as heat. That's why the bulb always hot. Why the bulb always hot? Because the filament is high, filament is a tungsten is a filament which have the capability to hold maximum amount of heat up to 3380 degrees Celsius. So this is a huge amount of amount of current, so it automatically increases the temperature of the filament and the temperature become red hot. So while we supply heat energy to the bulb, these heat the filament to red hot and it emits the light. So that is the normal functioning of the filament. When we supply heat energy, this filament absorb that heat absorb the heat to become a red hot, absorb the heat to red hot, and it emits the light. So the most of the power consumed by the filament appears as the heat, and rest of the portion appears as heat. So this is one of the application of heating effect of electric current, electric bulb. So electric bulb is used to provide light by heating the filament, and the filament is made of tungsten with high melting point of 3380 degrees Celsius. It does not melt at high temperature, and when we supply heat energy to the filament, it becomes red hot and emit the light. And usually we fill gases like nitrogen and argon to increase the life of the filament. The most of the power consumed by the filament appears as the heat, and rest of the portion appears as the light. And the third application is electric fuse. Electric fuse is a safety device present in an electric circuit. Electric fuse is a safety measure or safety device in the electric circuit. And if the current, so what is electric fuse? Electric fuse is a safety device which protect the electrical circuits from the accidental fires. So it's a safety device. If the current larger than the specified limit, the current larger than the specified amount, the fuse wire, the temperature of the fuse wire increases and it melts and breaks the circuit. Which means if there is a huge flow of current, what happens? The temperature of the filament increases and it melts to break the circuit. So this is that action. It's a function of the switch. When there is more amount of current flows through the circuit, suddenly the temperature of the fuse wire increases and it breaks to, it's melt and breaks the circuit. So this is the normal way of working of the electric fuse. Right. So electric fuse is a safety device present in an electric circuit. If the current larger than the specified value, the temperature of the filament increases and it melt and breaks the circuit. Thereby we can avoid the accidental fires due to the over voltage. And if the fuse wire does not melt, what happens? These all over current is accumulated current flows through the entire circuit and it makes problems to the damage, and even it makes problems to the people handling, people in that nearby area, or like people dealing with the situations, right? So that is another applications of heating effect of electric current. And normally we use the fuse wires of value 1 ampere, 2 ampere, 3 ampere, 5 ampere and 10 ampere. So these are the values of fuse wire we used in our domestic circuits. So we are using these values of fuse wire. For example, if an electric iron operates with 1 kilowatt hour power, if an electric iron works with the power 1 kilowatt and operates in the potential difference of 220. Just an example, okay? If the power is 1 kilowatt and the potential difference is V, how to find the current? Current I equal to P by V. How we got this? P equal to VI. So I equal to P by V. Substitute P. So 1 kilowatt hour equal to 1000 watt. 1 kilowatt hour equal to 1 kilometer equal to 1000. So just like 1 kilowatt equal to 1000. So instead of 1 kilowatt hour, 1000 by 220. So on calculation, this will be 4.84 ampere like this. So this 4.84 can round it to 5. So which fuse wire we have to use in this case? 5 ampere fuse wire. Okay. So fuse is another application of heating effect of electric current. So fuse is a safety device present in an electric circuit, and when the current larger than the specified limit, the temperature of the fuse wire increases and it melts and breaks the circuit. Okay, and normally we use the fuse wires of value 1 ampere, 2 ampere, 3 ampere, 4 ampere, 5 ampere and 10 ampere. For example, if a gadget works with the power 1 kilowatt hour and potential difference 220, and we have to use the fuse wire of 5 ampere. On rounding you get 5 ampere current. So which fuse you have to use here? The fuse wire of current 5 ampere. So these are the practical applications of heating effect of electric current. First one, like electric iron, electric heater, greaser, etc. works based on Joule's law of heating. Second one, electric bulb, and the third one, electric fuse. So these are the practical applications of Joule's law of heating. Now we can discuss about electric power. What is an electric power? Electric power is the rate at which electric energy consumed. What is electric power? Electric power is the rate at which electric energy is consumed. It is the power at which electrical energy is consumed. So electric power is the rate at which electric energy is consumed. Rate at which electric energy is consumed. The rate at which, so how much electric energy is consumed in a particular time. Okay, so electric power is the rate at which electric energy is consumed. So how much electric energy is consumed in a particular time? How much electric energy consumed in unit time? So that is electric power. Electric energy consumed in unit time, or it is the rate at which electric energy is consumed, or electric energy consumed by time. So it is the rate at which electric energy is consumed, or electric power is the electric energy consumed in unit time. Electric energy consumed in unit time, that is rate at which. And we studied about the two equations of power, like P equal to VI and P equal to I square R. So these two equations we already studied. So we can make one more equation for power, like P equal to, what is I? I equal to V by R. I equal to V by R. Substitute I. V by R all square into R. V by R all square, V square by R square into R. Cancel. So we get V by V square by R. So P equal to V square by R is another equation. Three equations we studied. P equal to VI, P equal to I square R, P equal to V square by R. So which are the three equations for power? P equal to VI, P equal to I square R, P equal to V square by R, and these equations will help you to do the problems. Okay, so what is electric power? Electric power is the rate at which electric energy is consumed, or electric energy per time is the electric power. And the SI unit of electric power is watt. Which is the SI unit of power? Watt. Watt is the SI unit of power. And volt also we studied in the same chapter, right? So volt is the SI unit of potential difference, volt. And watt is the SI unit of power, and W can use for the watt. So which is the SI unit of power? Watt. And the larger unit of power is kilowatt. So which is the larger unit of power? Kilowatt. kW. So the SI unit of power? Watt. And which is the larger unit of power? Kilowatt. And which is the commercial unit of power? That is kilowatt hour. So which is the commercial unit of power? Kilowatt hour, kWh. So which is the commercial unit of power? kWh. The SI unit of power? Watt. And larger unit of power? Kilowatt. And commercial unit of power? Kilowatt hour. Which is the commercial unit of power? Kilowatt hour. Which is the SI unit of power? Watt. Which is the larger unit of power? Kilowatt. Okay. So power is the rate at which electric energy is consumed. And what is the SI unit of power? And larger unit of power is kilowatt, and commercial unit of power is kilowatt hour. And three equations for power: P equal to VI, P equal to I square R, and P equal to V square by R. Okay. Now we are going to define the unit of power. Which is the SI unit of power? Watt. So define the unit of power means define 1 watt. Define 1 watt. 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at the potential difference of 1 volt. So 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that carries current of 1 ampere operated at the potential difference of 1 volt. So P equal to V into I. So power consumed by a device is 1 watt. 1 watt. The power consumed by a device 1 watt when 1 ampere of current flows through it and operated at the potential difference of operation. Okay, see, 1 ampere current flows through the potential difference of 1 volt. So 1 watt is the power consumed by a device of 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that carries of 1 ampere current operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. 1 W equal to 1 V into 1 A. So what is 1 watt? 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that operates with a current of 1 ampere and operated at the potential difference of 1 volt. So 1 W equal to 1 V into 1 A. So 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that carries the current of 1 ampere and operated at the potential difference 1 volt. Then power is 1 watt. 1 W equal to 1 V and 1 ampere. So 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that carries a current of 1 ampere operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. Okay. Then I told you the commercial unit of power is 1 kilowatt hour. Commercial unit of power is 1 kilowatt hour. Then you see 1 kWh equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour. 1 kWh equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour. What is 1 kilowatt? 1000 watt. So 1000 watt into 1 hour, how much seconds? 3600 seconds. Okay, then you can write this 36 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 36 into 10 raised to 5 watt seconds. Watt seconds. Okay, so this can write like 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. 1 kWh equal to, see, 1000 into 3600 seconds. So 36 into 10 raised to seconds, watt seconds. See, actually kilowatt hour is power and hours, right? So the watt second means what? Joule. Watt second is joule. Watt second means joule. Okay. So instead of watt seconds, I can use joule. And here 36. Now I put a point. Then one more 10. So that is 10 raised to 6. So 1 kilowatt hour equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. And this will be helpful to convert kilowatt hour into joule. Suppose if you want to convert 2 kilowatt hour into joule, then 2 into 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. So this relationship will help you to convert a kilowatt hour into joule. For example, 2 kilowatt hour. If you want to convert 2 kilowatt hour, 2 kWh equal to 2 into 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. So how to convert kilowatt hour into joule? Multiply that number with 3.6 into 10 raised to 6. Then you will get the answer in joules. So kilowatt hour is the commercial unit of power. So how we make any relationship between kilowatt hour and joule? So for that, 1 kilowatt hour into 1 hour, 1000 watt into 3600, 36 into 10 raised to 5. The watt second is joule. Then 36 here it is 3 point, so one more 10. So 10 raised to 5 become 10 raised to 6. So this will help you to do the problems like, if you want to calculate kilowatt hour into joule, multiply that number with 3.6. Like if you want to convert 2 kilowatt hour into joule, 2 into 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules. Okay, so what is 1 watt? 1 watt is the power consumed by a device that operates with a current of 1 ampere and operated at the potential difference 1 volt. And the relationship between kilowatt hour and joule, 1 kWh equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. So that's all about today's class. And with this is the end of the chapter 12, electricity. And we discussed many important points in today's class. So understand all the concepts. We will meet you soon with another video. Till then, it's bye. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.